Well, hello again, everybody. Fancy seeing you here. Here's one for you. Anybody remember the story of the three bears? Goldilocks. This one's too hard. This one's too soft. This one's just right. This one's too big. This one's too small. This one's just right. Well, for some of you, that is the thought in solar generators. You thought I was done doing this? No. So, as usual, Elliot and I got together, Elliot over at Wellbots, and we came up with the mid-size solar generator. Now, a couple of months ago, we did a very small one. Then we did the small one, which was the EcoFlow 1300, which, I have 4 of. And we had put that one through the tests. Then I showed you the EcoFlow Delta Pro, which was the behemoth one. Well, so here we're going to go with the mid-size one. And this one's not an EcoFlow. This is the Bluetti AC200 Max. Now, I'm going to put this thing through the paces, but let me tell you what Bluetti claims on this. This is a 2200 watt solar generator, okay? Pure sine wave, again. Got 2040 watt hour capacity. Again, it's a lithium iron phosphate battery, so, state-of-the-art stuff there. 3,500 life cycles, up to 80% efficient, or up to 80, then keep going after that, but at 80%. Okay. It's expandable, just like the EcoFlow Delta Pro. You can add up to 2 other batteries on there and bring this up to a total of 8,192 watt hours. So, yes, if you want to run the big stuff, the washer and dryer or something like that, it's possible with this one. Okay. Of course, it has 7 ways to recharge it. Just, anything and everything at this point. Your AC power, solar, your car. You could plug it into a generator. You could charge it off of a car battery. You could get it with a couple of different ways of putting it in. You could power it with AC and solar at the same time. So, multitude of ways to power this, which of course in an SHTF situation is going to be crucial because anywhere you can get power is going to be cool. And if you find a broke down car on the side of the road and you can all of a sudden grab the battery out of that, and rather than hook it up to an inverter and that whole deal, you can just hook it straight into this, charge this up, and now you've got it with power. Okay. Here's the cool part for this one. It's got a 900 watt maximum solar input. All right. So, all those times of me talking about 120 watt solar panels that I use, that would be what? 4 is 400. You use 7 of them. Okay. So if you've got a full size solar array, that would work with this. So I am going to put this through the paces here in the next couple of days. And because obviously charge time and everything like that and run time takes a little time. So I will get that done and show you along the way as we go. All right, so first things first, there is your display screen, and it came at 76% charged. So I am going to have to drain this so I can see what the charge is. The first thing I will say that, okay, this is personal preference. I'm not a huge fan, but it does come with one of these block chargers. Okay, so you've got a 2-piece charger. So that's plugged into the wall, and then there's a separate cord from that to the unit. So it's going to take me a while. I will go run this thing down to 30% and see where we go from here. All right, so I thought I'd show you the first bit of what I'm doing with this. Obviously, it's running on an AC load. You can see pumping out 1,840 watts, whatever would be there. What I've got it charging right now is my EcoFlow Pro. So this thing's got enough power to juice a big generator. Obviously, I needed something to drain it quickly, and I'm using my big generators to run my pond pump. So that's where that's going. But yeah, this thing can handle that. There's a good start. Okay, so I brought it down to 30%, and I'll mention a feature I like right off the beginning. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, there's a clock. It's 4:42, so we're going to see how long it takes to charge this. All right, so I have this thing up to 95%, and if you look in the upper right-hand corner, it's 8:12, so that's 3.5 hours to go from 30% to 95%. Not exactly speedy, and as you see, it's still charging there, having an input of 392 watts. Now, their brick that I showed you before is a 500-watt brick. And, well, that's all fine and dandy that you got something like that to do it. 500 watts is nothing to speak of. This is charging at 1/4 the speed that my EcoFlow Delta Pro does. I mean, I'm charging one of those at the same time, and that's running about 1620 at the same time, just plugged into a wall. So definitely a downside to this is not a fast charger. There is, apparently you can get a second one of these bricks and charge it up at 1,000 watts, or you can plug it in with solar at the same time and get more. But even then, if I'm spending more money to get it to 1,000 watts, it's still not the 1,600 that I got out of the EcoFlow Delta. Now, that's the downside. The upside to this is that you can hook up to 900 watts of solar panels to this, where I can only hook 800 watts of solar panels up to the EcoFlow Delta. So this thing would charge a lot faster, at least 11 or at least 12.5% faster than the EcoFlow Delta. So this is more geared, in my opinion, to a solar generator, which again is what we'd want to be using. Both of them are going to work, but for powering this off of solar, this certainly would be a good product. Okay, so let's go on to the next test. Okay, as usual, you guys know the high production value of my videos. So just like last time we were testing, I'm sitting here on my kitchen floor and going to test it with the same stuff I had last time. A toaster, my side-by-side refrigerator, making a cup of coffee, and a hair dryer. Okay, high drain devices, high use devices. So let's hit the screen here, and the refrigerator is the only thing going right now, and it's pulling 234 watts. So let's hit the toaster, and that pulls it up to 1,500 thereabouts. We will start the coffee pot. That's pulling it up to 2,560. And let's turn on the hair dryer. Whoops. Let's get that going so you can see where we are. And that was too much. Okay. So, not enough to get all of that out. That tripped everything. So, no luck with the all the devices. So it's not as powerful as, whoops, there we go. Let's get that running. Okay, so it's just my refrigerator again. So it does not have the capacity that the Delta Pro did, which is fine, okay? Because it all depends on what you're using for. Now, I've got the refrigerator in. You're seeing it's pulling 234 watts. According to Bluetti, this will run a refrigerator for about 10 hours. So we'll check that out. Okay, so not too bad. I wound up getting 9.5 hours out of the refrigerator. So that was pretty close. We had to open it a few times, so their specs seem to be, I'd say, pretty accurate on that. So let me show you some of the other features on here so you have an idea. All right, so there is the front panel. It is a touch screen, which I do like. Okay, that is something very nice. You can adjust settings or see what your data is. It also is an expandable system, just like the Delta Pro is. You can put up to 2 extra batteries on here and get longer run times, which is great. Pros and cons on the extra batteries. The Pro, as opposed to the Delta Pro, is you can charge the batteries separately from charging the main unit. With the Delta Pro, you have to charge them all together, so that's nice. The negative is this does not have a 240 volt capacity. So you can't use it for hooking it up to your main breaker and having it as backup power throughout the house through the internal wiring of the house. I mean, obviously you can run extension cords all over the place, everything like that, but it does not have a smart panel. So pros and cons that way. All right, so some other little things about here. If we go back to look, it's got your typical cigarette lighter jack that you can use. Another 30 amp, 10 volt or 12 volt amp there. It's got one for your dual plug in there. USB. Now this is the old school USB plug, the one that's like a trapezoid, not the one that looks like an oval. All right, and then you've got your typical USB ports right there. Okay, 4 plugs and a 30 amp RV breaker. So all good there. One of the things I really do like about this is, if you just saw, all the rubber plugs or rubber caps going over the plugs. Now, obviously it's not waterproof, it's a freaking battery. But this is something that the Delta Pro does not have. It does not have the caps to them. So, you know, all of a sudden you're outside and there's a little bit of rain. You don't have to worry about water getting into the unit here. Definitely a plus. This is one I thought was cool. Doesn't have like an Apple plug or an Android plug or whatever. There's 2 wireless charging ports right there. I can set my phone or whatever else right on top and wirelessly charge whatever I want out of this. So, overall, I'll flip this back because you lose there real quick. Flip this back. I give this an 8 out of 10, okay? It weighs 62 pounds. One of the negatives I'd say with this is it doesn't have wheels. It's got handles, but it's heavy, okay? And trust me, with me hauling around the Delta Pros back and forth all the time trying to change those out, having those wheels on there is nice. I only have to lift it up to put it back in the back of the four-wheeler and go and take it again. This, you got to lift and carry wherever you want to go. It's not like luggage wheels. That's something that I would definitely improve on with this. As usual, if you want to get into the real down and dirty engineering specs on this, go look at Hobotech. He's done videos on this too. I'm looking at this from a purely prepper standpoint, and this is what I would say. In my opinion, just my opinion, this is good for somebody who's in an apartment, somebody who's in a rental house, somebody who's not trying to take their property and use this as a in-house backup system. I could not, there's no way the Bluetti would run my well pump. That does not work. There's no way I could hook that into it. There's no way I could hook it into my heat pump for the house. Okay, this just doesn't have that capacity. For an off-grid system, if you're living off-grid, this would be awesome. You don't need 240 volt capacity. I very seriously doubt you're putting in a deep well pump or anything like that. What I'd love to see is the best of both worlds, where EcoFlow and Bluetti got together and said, hey, let's use your fast charging capabilities, your idea for integrated wheels on here. Let's use your idea for separately charged batteries, etc., etc. This is a great unit. I'd give it an 8 of 10. I'd give the Delta Pro an 8 of 10. Very hard to get 10 of 10 with me. I've yet to see anything in this that would. But would I recommend this? For the person that needs the capacity this has, yes. It's not huge. It's not small, okay? Like I said, this would be good for somebody in an apartment to run everything in your apartment. You can try to run a whole house, it doesn't work. So there's a review on the Bluetti AC200 Max. Good deal. Now, guess what? Yeah, we're giving one away, okay? We will do this Saturday night on the live stream, 9 p.m. Eastern. In order to qualify for the drawing, you must make a comment below this video. It must be the original comment, not subsequent comments below, not replies, okay? Because I delete all the replies. Your comment must have the state in which you live in. Everybody gets one entry. I will tell you this, if you make 2 comments on the video, make sure both of them have the state you live in there. Simple reason is this. I remove all duplicates. If you make 2 comments and one says I live in Michigan and the other one says great product, and the system automatically removes the one that says live in Michigan, and your name gets pulled and says great product, sorry, the entry must have the state in which you live in. Okay. You must be present to win. You must show up to the live stream Saturday night at 9 o'clock. Okay. I will draw the name with the random comment picker. You will have 3 minutes after I call your name to say that you are there. If you are not, we will pick another winner. Okay. You must be in the contiguous 48 states. Sorry, but Wellbots cannot send this to Canada, Europe, Alaska, Hawaii, anything like that. So, sorry, you got to be in the contiguous U.S. So, and again, must comment on this video only. I know I say it all the time. I will also say this, because there's a lot of trolls out there lately. This will be for subscribers only. So make sure if you want to win this, you are subscribed to the channel. I will say that. But there's a review on a Bluetti AC200 Max. Good generator, right person. Wouldn't fit my situation, not what I'm trying to do. Doesn't mean it's not going to fit somebody else's. As I've said to everybody a million times, there is no one size fits all in prepping. Okay. Is this a good product? Absolutely. Have a good one. Pinball out.